You know, the fact of the matter is, it's going to be hard work either way. Like, whether you choose to chase your goals or whether you choose to just stay as you are, unfortunately, it's going to be hard work. Now, I say this because if you take on the challenge and you take on the decision to actually move forward and chase your goals, there are going to be some things required of you. You know, you're going to have to change ultimately who you are being on a day-to-day basis in order to follow through and achieve those, especially if you want to keep them for life. Now, this is whether we're talking business, body, balance, being, doesn't matter which domain of life it's in. If we want more, if we want to level up and to grow and to be a more expanded version of self, we have to put in some hard work. And often the reason it feels like hard work is because we've often got to step outside of our comfort zone. We've got to do things that are required of us from our future version of self, and the current version of self butts up against that resistance. It doesn't want to move outside of its comfort zone. So therefore it feels like hard work. That's the spiritual side of it, as in the energetic side of it. There's also the literal physical side of it, in the respect that, well, now I've got to do more in my food. I've got to do more with my physical movement. I've got to do more in my rest and recovery. So I actually have to do some things in life as well, which maybe conflict or overwhelm me based on the fact I already have a busy and hectic lifestyle. Now, that all just seems like hard work. It's like, why the fuck would I put in all this effort to achieve this outcome that I might not actually even achieve, but I'm apparently going to get this positive result on the back end? Now, of course, that's all hard work, yeah? Now, there's also the hard work of not choosing to chase our goals. And instead, we stay. We don't do anything. We don't act on our desires, our dreams, our wishes, our goals, and so on. And then what happens is we have the hard work of dealing with the shit that we give ourselves daily for not stepping up and taking action. The shit that we give ourselves for knowing that more is available to us in life, but having to live with the fact that we're not willing to step up and do anything about it. The fact that we're maybe too scared to do anything, or we don't feel worthy of it, or we feel inadequate to do so, and so on. We've got all these negative underlying narratives that hold us back. And then instead we have to live with that weak version of us that ends up fat, tired, overweight, weak, often in pain, and feeling like, I know there's more available. I see other people achieving more. Why is it so easy for them? Or why does it appear to be so easy for them? But yet it's always a struggle for me. Now, the catch is, as I say, unfortunately, it's a struggle either way. But I know which struggle I'd rather live with. Now, in the moment, of course, because we're not necessarily putting in that physical effort to try and change life, it can feel easier to just sit and stay stuck where we are. In the moment, it's easier. But when we have to then deal with the guilt, the blame, the shame that we tend to attack ourselves with, following that inability to take action, following the fact that we feel like a fucking failure and that we're not stepping up and doing what we know we need to do, that's the struggle that we're stuck with when we choose not to step up and take the actions we know we need to in order to reach those goals in life that we have. Now, I understand it's a tricky place to be. And often we feel so depleted, both in terms of physical energy, but also in terms of mental, emotional capacity, spiritual capacity, and so on. It's like, I don't feel like I have anything left to give to help me attain this outcome that I want. And then we also have the fact that quite often we've let ourselves down so many times or experienced so many negative situations that we feel like whenever I do try to get something out of life, it just falls back in or gets thrown back in my face anyway. I end up failing, or it goes wrong, or there's always a problem with it, or I get to the goal and then it turns out it wasn't that fucking great after all. Now, I get it. But this is what happens quite often when we choose goals that are not our own goals. When we choose goals that we think we should have based on the expectations of society or other people and things around us. Often when we set goals just for the sake of setting goals because they sound good in the moment, or maybe sound good when we're telling our friend about it, that's when we get a problem, because those goals are not our goals. They're nice ideas, but they're not the things that we truly want from life that are actually going to make us feel fulfilled. That's actually going to make that fucking hard work feel like it was worthwhile. And that's the problem. We need to make sure that the work that we put in feels like it's worthwhile on the other side. So what does that mean? It means that the goal has to be relevant to what we truly want, but it also means that the goal and the outcome has to be big enough that it dwarfs the effort that we put in the first place. Now, of course, it can be a tricky place sometimes, or a tricky thing for us to identify exactly what that is. Well, what does that mean for me? If it's not just, oh, I want to lose some weight, or it's not just, oh, I want to earn more money, what the fuck is it? And this is where we have to look beyond the surface level goal. So it's like, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, cool. Why? What's the goal of the goal? Now, I've spoken about this before in previous videos. It's a case of, yes, you might want to lose weight. Yes, you might want more money. Yeah, you might want a partner if you don't have one. But why? What's the emotional need that you're trying to get served? What is the emotional component that's currently missing from your life, or not at an abundant level whereby you get to experience it consistently? What is that emotional need that must get met in order for you to feel happy or fulfilled or confident, or whatever the thing is that's missing for you? What is the goal beyond the goal? And then once you identify that, ask again, okay, cool. So I want to lose weight because I want to feel confident, for example. Okay, cool. Why do you need to feel confident? How does this lack of confidence prevent you from having the life that you currently want? Shit, another layer. Right. I need to feel confident so that I am happier to go and speak to women. Or it might be I'm happier to push for that promotion at work. Or it might be so I don't feel like I'm being judged when I'm out and about. It could be real simple, but there is a reason behind it. Okay, cool. So why don't you want to be judged? Or why do you feel that you need to be more confident in order to step up in this role in your job, or for a promotion, or whatever it might be? And the more you're willing to ask these questions and dig down the layers, the more likely you are to get to what we call the facts, which are the specific and true things that are actually going on for you. Because the thing is, we have this idea of truth in our mind, but that truth might be distorted by our beliefs, our stories, our narratives, our own rules and laws. So therefore, that truth might not actually be a fact. So when we can dig down to the foundational facts, then pair that up with the actual goal that we want, it makes it much easier to identify the steps that we need to take in between, whether hard or not, that we know we need to take. So it's like, here's where I am. This is exactly what's going on for me right now. This is exactly how I feel about that shit right now. Here's where I want to go and how I feel about where I want to go. These are the reasons I'm doing it. And these are the specific steps I need to take along that path in order for me to reach that point. Now, of course, that in itself for many of us is going to be hard work, but that's what makes it worthwhile. If we're willing to go deeper than just, what do you want to do with your body? Oh, I want to burn some fat. If we're willing to go deeper than that and identify the truth behind it, what does this mean to me? Because what it means to you might be totally different to me. And what is an ideal outcome may be totally different for you, or for me too, or for the next person. So for example, one of you guys, you might just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I'm not bothered about having a six-pack or reaching any particular strength standard. I just want a body that's slim, looks healthy, relatively lean, but I don't have to necessarily look athletic. Whereas on the flip side, I might be like, well, no, I want to be athletic. I want a six-pack 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I want to be able to deadlift 3 times my body weight. I want to be able to squat 2.5 times my body weight, blah, blah. Like, there might be more to it for me or for the next person versus yourself. That doesn't matter. It's about making it specific to you and your needs so that you can actually feel like you're fucking winning in life. Because this is the problem. Many of us don't feel like we're winning, and therefore the struggle and this hard work that I'm talking about doesn't feel worthwhile. Because it's like, well, whether I try hard or whether I sit back and do fuck all, I automatically or always feel like I'm losing anyway. And this is the problem. If we don't show up as a winner and put ourselves in a position and a feeling state and an action state where we can win, we will continue to feel like we're losing, even if our literal results show and prove otherwise. So my question for you guys is this: which area of your life are you willing to do the hard work? And basically, which hard work are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the hard work of doing the thing required to get the outcomes you want, or living with the hard work and the mental, emotional, and spiritual burden of knowing that you're just sitting on your ass, not stepping up, not taking action, or feeling inadequate and unworthy to do so, ultimately feeling like a failure. Because I know for myself personally, I'd rather be sitting on the side of, well, at least trying, rather than just sitting and let life happen to me by default. Because what we want to do ideally is step up and build life by design. If we allow it to happen by default, it's almost impossible to find true happiness, true fulfillment, and a sense of purpose in what the fuck we're doing. So that's my question for you guys tonight. As always, as I say to you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if not, and if you're feeling stuck and you want to move forward and you feel like 2024 is the year you want to accelerate this shit for you, then reach out to me in the DMs, drop me the word Kickstart. We can jump onto a Metabolic Kickstart call, and then we can have a chat about what it is you need to do in order to awaken the warrior within so that you can get out of pain, build a bulletproof body, and burn off the excess body fat this year. Drop a comment, guys, and I will chat to you all in my next video. Take it easy, people.